Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All About Candles. Welcome to the very first episode of Burning Questions. I'm going to be answering all of the questions that you sent me at AllAbootCandles@gmail.com. I also lifted some of these questions from the comment section because they deserved proper answers. I'm not going to be able to get to all the questions that I received today, so we're definitely going to be doing a second episode of this as long as more than like 10 people actually watch it. So continue to send me your burning questions at allabootcandles@gmail.com, and maybe you'll get featured in my next one. I printed off all of these questions and put them in envelopes, and I'm pretending like I got snail mail because I really miss the days of like getting good snail mail. You know, like coupons and catalogs and like little free samples, cards from friends. I feel like those days are long gone. All I ever get in the mail anymore is like stuff from the government and the police, like photo radar parking tickets or photo radar speeding tickets. That's all I get. So I thought I would try to give this a little bit of a more tangible vibe. And I've got all your questions in my little envelopes here. And I'm going to use my little envelope opener to open them up. Oh, I'm so excited. I wonder who this is from. First question. Now, you guys, I don't actually need glasses or even use readers. I just got these for the dramatic effect. You know me. Hi, Greg. I recently got obsessed with candles and started collecting a lot from BBW. I've been watching your videos and they've been super helpful in guiding me on which ones to pick. This is the first time I'm actually participating in something online, thanks to you. Oh, that's so sweet. That makes me feel good. Here are my newbie questions for you. Can you recommend some BBW candle scents that give off a spa, luxurious hotel, or resort vibe? I'd love something with strong throw. 2, for the same candle, is it okay to keep switching between using a candle lamp and burning it, or is it better to stick to one method? Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. We're gonna take these one at a time, all right? So for your first question, a BBW candle that gives off a luxurious spa experience. Let me think. I would maybe, there was a candle called Spa Day. And I don't think it was all that long ago, but it's not available now. I'm assuming that you're gonna want me to recommend a candle that you'll be able to get shortly. So this really kind of depends on what kind of spa experience you are looking for. A lot of the time, I think that spa fragrances are associated with minty things, cucumber things, lavender, for sure, maybe something a little bit soapy. And so what are on the BBW shelves right now? Maybe a eucalyptus and spearmint? Maybe cucumber melon. I don't think cucumber melon is on the floor right now, but you could keep your eye out for it. You know what is on the floor right now that I think would make a lovely spa candle is vanilla and birch. That's a good one. And there is an aromatherapy line, so if you check out the aromatherapy section at Bath & Body Works, that's what you should do. Check out to see if there are any aromatherapy Bath & Body Works candles that you'd like. Something like eucalyptus and spearmint would probably be a good one. And to be honest with you, I think that we're gonna be finding you better spa candles in the spring and the summertime than we will be finding them in like the winter and the fall months. But I would probably go with something like vanilla birch, just off the top of my head right now. I think that would make a lovely spa experience. What else is there? Maybe like a cozy cashmere, or maybe something watery, Surf Shop, which came out this summer. I doubt you'll be able to find that one, but I think Surf Shop would have been a really good spa candle. I think Sun Drenched Linen would be a lovely choice. And in January, which is gonna be here before you know it, the tropical collection comes out. And I think that in the tropical collection, you might find a lot of good spa vibes, like, oh gosh, fresh bamboo. I think Blue Bungalow would be a really great spa candle. Yeah, so those are my recommendations to you. Some of those you can find on the floor right now. And I would wait for Cucumber Melon to maybe come out again, because I really feel like Cucumber Melon, although it's not my sort of scent preference, I think that definitely, for me at least, gives off a very like spa vibe, okay? And your second question was, for the same candle, is it okay to keep switching between using a candle lamp and burning it, or is it better to stick to one method? No, honey. No, 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 no. Once you have lamped or crocked a candle, you cannot burn it anymore, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you lamp or crock a candle, it might heat up the entire jar and loosen the wick nickels. And the wick nickels are like the little slots that the wicks stick into, the little round metal things about the size of a nickel. That's why I call them wick nickels. When you heat up a candle, those could move around, and that could cause problems, because if they move too close to the jar or if they move too close together, then you've got a fire hazard. And I actually have like a whole system for avoiding this. Once I have put a candle under a candle lamp, I put a little circle on the bottom of it in a black marker, just so that I know that I can't burn this candle anymore. And I also think that, you know, melting or crocking a candle or using a lamp, I think it probably kind of changes the chemistry of the wax a little bit. It's probably just, it's not a good idea. So if you are gonna lamp or crock a candle, that is to be a lamped or a crocked candle forever. You should not be lighting that back up, my dear friend. And if you want to steal my system, I put a little circle on the bottom of my candles if they've been lamped, and I put an X if they've been crocked, so that I know that I can't be like burning them traditionally anymore. All right, now you've got a lot of questions. Who is this? This comes from June Lee. Question number 3. Can you explain how to use cotton balls to remove the layer of unscented wax after using a top warmer? How large should the wax pool be before I put in the cotton balls? Should I dip the entire cotton ball into the pool, or just use it to absorb the surface layer? Now, I never really realized when I started taking questions for this segment that I might be unqualified to answer some of them. I have never used cotton balls to remove wax from a candle before. And one of the main reasons for that is because I generally will only melt candles once I've burned them a certain amount, and I don't want to burn them anymore, so then I lamp or crock usually the last half or the last third of a candle. And you know what, my recommendation to you is to really just not do that, because I think it's messy. I hate playing around with melted wax. I mean, you could burn yourself. If someone has a great method of using cotton balls to remove wax below, leave it in the comments section and let June Lee know. But I would probably just recommend pouring some wax down. If you are lamping a candle from top to bottom, yes, you are going to need to remove some wax, quite likely. You'll probably need to do it at least once and maybe twice, because when you are heating a candle from the top down, depending on the strength of the lamp that you're using, not all of the wax is going to melt. What I would suggest doing is being very, very careful, and maybe even using like an oven mitt or something, and having a garbage nice and handy, and just pouring a little bit of the wax out of the candle, and have a paper towel handy so that as soon as you're done pouring it, you can wipe up the wax that's sort of dribbled down the side of the candle. That's what I do, although like I said, I don't usually remove wax from candles. because, and if I am going to not burn a candle at all traditionally, if I'm gonna melt the whole thing, then I will put it under my candle lamp until it's melted as much as it's gonna melt. And then I put it into a candle crock, which is like, like a little sort of almost like a hurricane, but with a bottom that heats up. And a candle crock melts a candle from the bottom up. Okay? And so what I would truly like to see you do, as opposed to removing wax from a candle, is maybe consider getting a candle crock instead. I will link below to, it's hard to find a good candle crock that's not like super corny and cheesy and has like Bible quotes on it. But I will try to find a Canadian and an American candle crock option off Amazon, and I will link to them below for you, June, okay? I hope that that helps. You have some more questions here. Do you know how to check the production batch or date for Goose Creek candles? Once again, I didn't realize, it never even occurred to me that I might not be equipped to fully answer all of these questions. So I do have a Goose Creek candle here, and the only number that I see that might be an indication of production is 4213G302, and I cannot. This was just purchased this year, and I'm guessing it was poured this year. This is Black Candy Apple from Goose Creek. And so that number doesn't help me at all. So I'm afraid I don't. And what I would suggest you do, and what I'm probably gonna do after this video, is email Goose Creek and figure out if they're willing to let us know. Generally speaking though, Goose Creek, it's not really that much like Bath and Body Works, where you might go to an outlet location or something and have candles that are quite old. When you're ordering off of Goose Creek does a pretty good job of like clean sweeping their website every couple of seasons. So I doubt that you are getting candles that are more than like 2 years old. I guess my question for you would be, why do you want to know the production or the batch date for Goose Creek candles? I mean, I have reasons why I would want to know, because I am candle obsessed. But if you wanted to elaborate a little bit more, or maybe leave in the comment section why you want to know these things, maybe I'll be able to give you a better answer. Okay. Can I use a top candle warmer for wax melts, or do I need a bottom burner? Excellent question. You can absolutely use wax melts in a top to bottom candle lamp situation. And you know what would be a really easy way to do that is to just put them in an empty candle vessel. Okay, so if you have an empty Goose Creek or an empty Bath and Body Works candle, you know that that's already probably going to fit really nicely underneath your candle lamp. So the way that you empty out one of those candles is you put the remaining wax, you put the candle, once you're done burning the candle, you put whatever's left of it in the freezer. This freezes the wax and shrinks it a little bit. So when you take it out of the freezer after a couple hours, you should be able to just shake the wax out of the candle. And then you might need to like scrape the wick nickels off of the bottom and then wipe it out with like a paper towel or something, and presto, you've got a clean vessel. And I would even suggest using a Bath and Body Works or a Goose Creek candle that is really pretty, because when you do put a vessel underneath a candle lamp, it gives it a really nice glow. So maybe pick a design that just looks really pretty, and then you can just throw your pieces of wax into there, put it under the candle lamp, and presto, you're good to go. You could use a lot of other things to put under a candle lamp to heat wax, but just make sure that it's sturdy, it's like heat protected, you know what I mean? And be careful about burning your hands. I would really suggest using something that's already been a candle vessel, all right? That's all I have for now. I'm sending love and thanks all the way from Malaysia. Keep rocking it. It's been so much fun watching you. Oh, thank you. Aw, June. That was lovely. This was one of the very first questions that I got for my burning questions segment, and it really, really made my day. So thank you so much for writing it. All right. let's move on to the next one here. Oh, I wonder who this could be from, you guys. Oh, it's so exciting. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? This is from Debbie9836. And it says, can I ask what the purpose of the candle lamps are for? Is it the option of no open flame? Thanks for sharing. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much for your question. And June, if you're still watching, I wanted to show you guys, I've got a candle lamp right here. Now, this is one of my much simpler and basic candle lamps, and I'm going to, if you want something that works really well and is under $30, I would recommend getting a candle lamp like this. What you really want to look for is that you have an adjustable top. So you can slide this top off and adjust the height of the lamp. So if you've got a small candle, you want the heat lamp to be like maybe an inch or two above it. And if you've got a tall candle, I can adjust this and raise it up. So if you've got like a tall Kringle candle or a Yankee candle or something, then it will also work for that size of candle too. And I also recommend getting one that has a timer on it so that you can time it to turn off automatically. And the way that this one works is there's a power on button. And so you just turn it on and presto, your lamp is on. And then you can decrease or increase the strength of like the bulb. I find that I always have to use the highest, the most heat on a candle lamp because that's going to get you the most strength and throw, and it's going to melt the candle the fastest. So I always use the highest one. And this one also has a timer. So you can set it to turn off automatically in 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours just by clicking on that guy. And so the purpose of a candle lamp is for being able to get the fragrance out of a candle without having to burn it, okay? So there are a lot of reasons why people might not want to actually burn a candle. You might have small children, you might have a cat that crawls all over everything. You might have a rule in your building that you're not allowed to burn candles. There could be a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to actually burn a candle. I personally really prefer to burn candles. I always want to burn a candle first. And for me, candle lamps and candle crocks are like a last resort. Like if the candle is problematic and it's sooting a lot, or it's not, the strength and throw is just not good because it's teeny tiny wicks, then I will put the remainder of the wax under a candle lamp. And so the purpose for candle lamps is really mostly just all about like convenience. It is a way to get the fragrance out of your candle without burning it in case there is some sort of a reason why you can't actually burn a candle. And you know, one of those things is that I can leave my candle lamp on and not have to worry about it, because it's got that automatic timer on it. So for example, the only place that I really use a candle lamp in my house is in my kitchen, because I don't spend a lot of time in my kitchen and there aren't a lot of like great sight lines from the rest of my space like into my kitchen. And so I don't burn candles in there because I can't check up on them frequently, but I can put a candle under a lamp. And so whenever I walk into my kitchen, I usually have a lovely like gourmand fragrance going on under there. So whenever I walk into my kitchen, I've got some fragrance and a nice glow from the candle without having to burn it. Because you do have to be careful when you're burning candles. You have to check up on them all the time. You should never leave them really unattended at all, you know? So safety is really a big thing for the candle lamps. Lots of fires do get started from candles. Using a candle lamp instead kind of minimizes your risk of that. I know lots of mothers that use them, lots of people with cats. It's just a safer way, especially if you're busy and not keeping a close eye on things all the time. A candle lamp might be right for you, Debbie. Thank you so much for your question. Now, my next question is from Joe Lamb. She's been commenting on my channel ever since I started, and I always just really appreciate the comments, Joe Lamb. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. She's got several questions here. So, my first burning question is, exactly how many Wicked Vanilla Woods candles did you get? Disclaimer, no judgment. Okay, fine. I had told everybody that I had gotten less than 10 Wicked Vanilla Woods candles because I was embarrassed at how many I got, and the amount that I got was 8. Okay? Now, that being said, I do intend to give a couple of them away and put one into like a prize package that I'm going to be giving out at my Halloween party. So they're not all for me. But yes, I did go a little bit ham, Joe Lamb. Her second burning question, what will you do with the multitude of snake lids? Okay, you kind of answered this one. See next question. Yes, I did. And in fact, it actually turns out that the snake lids are more stackable than I thought. So I haven't had to remove the snakes. I've got them all stored away and they're doing just fine. But I appreciate your concern. Okay, third burning question. If you remove the snakes from the lids, what will you do with the snakes? Okay, I'm not removing the snakes from the lids. I'm definitely gonna have to get my nose on Midnight Cocktails. I really like tobacco notes. It's not smoky, is it? Yes, I do think that Midnight Cocktails is a touch on the smoky side. If you're not able to go in the store and smell it first, then I would really suggest avoiding that one. I do find that it has a little bit of a smokiness to it. I'm actually going to be doing a review of Midnight Cocktails this week, so you'll be able to get my sort of in-depth thoughts on that one quite quickly. I wouldn't say that it's too smoky, but it is a bit smoky. She also says Cozy Sunday Night is a really nice one. Yes, it is. I love Cozy Sunday Night. I've been enjoying it in the evenings. I picked up 2 candles during last week's sale, so I was going to skip this one, but now I think I want to go and check out Midnight Cocktails. Bon voyage, mon ami. P.S. Sorry for clearly defying your request to put your burning questions in email. I'm a rebel without a clue, apparently. Joe Lamb, for you, anything. For you, anything, my dear. Thank you so much for watching and for your comments. They're much appreciated. Okay, we've got another question here from Joanne Hendricks. And she says, hey, I hope your vacation is going great and you're enjoying yourself. Please rate your top 10 strongest candles, 9 and above, from Bath and Body Works. Thank you, Joanne. Oh, Joanne, this is a loaded question. The 10 strongest candles from Bath and Body Works. You know, let me get out my little tablet here. Hold on a second. Okay, pumpkin pecan waffles. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to name 10 super strong candles that are currently on the floor. Maybe back in the day I could have, but I'm going to have to get into some candles here that are not currently on the floor. Pumpkin pecan waffles would definitely be one. Laundry Day, that's a strong one. I actually enjoy that one. There's a candle called Mahogany Teakwood Intense. And that is a strong one, and it should be because it is called Intense. I feel like Mahogany Teakwood has been along for so long that people really don't like it anymore. But I smelled it in the store the other day, and I actually really kind of liked it. It's been so long since I had smelled it. I didn't get one, but I was kind of like, oh, there is a reason why this is so popular and it's been on the shelves forever, right? Like, it's not a bad fragrance. So Mahogany Teakwood Intense is definitely a strong one. Summer Boardwalk, that I find quite strong. Berry Waffle Cone, that's a strong guy. Into the Night, the new version of Into the Night is phenomenal. Really good strength and throw on that one, and it looks beautiful when it's burning. Fresh Balsam, you can get Fresh Balsam right now. That one is always nice and strong. Same with Leaves. Leaves is out right now too. That's a nice strong one. Eucalyptus and Spearmint. Ooh, good Lord. Ooh, that eucalyptus and spearmint, that is not my fragrance. I burned it once, and that's one of the very few candles that I've ever burned that I wasn't able to finish. That one was strong. If you're gonna do a eucalyptus spearmint, make sure that you can smell it in store first. Paris Cafe, oh good Lord, that is a strong candle. You can smell that candle when it still has its lid on. You really can. You've got to be careful with that candle because your hair and your clothes will smell like really roasty and toasty espresso beans. White Gardenia, that one's around quite a lot, and it's not my favorite. That is a bit too of a like sharp, straightforward white floral for me, but it's a strong one. Fresh Cut Lilacs, that's a little bit more up my alley if you're looking for a really strong floral. Fresh Cut Lilacs is usually really strong, although I have to say that the last version that I smelled from last spring, not the strongest fresh cut lilacs they've had. Sweet Carrot Cake. That comes out for Easter every year. If you're into a really nice, strong gourmand, Sweet Carrot Cake is a good one. What else? Oh my goodness. There are a lot of really strong candles from Bath and Body Works now that I'm thinking of it. Unfortunately, most of them are ones that have been around for a really long time, so I don't get like too excited about anymore. Flannel, I bet you Flannel is on the floor right now. Flannel is a really strong candle, so I can recommend that one for sure. All right, we've got one last envelope here. Oh, and thank you so much for the comment, Joanne, and the question. I really appreciate it. You guys can all send me your burning questions at AllAbootCandles@gmail.com, and I will print them up like a little old lady, a little old secretary from the 90s, and stuff them in an envelope and snail mail them to myself. All right, we've got Mikhail. We've got Mikhail here. As someone new to the world of fragrance and candles, I'm really curious about the terminology you and other candle reviewers use, like range, throw, and strength. Okay, so range and throw, I think, are really the same thing, okay? Range and throw are the same thing. That is how far the scent of a candle will project, okay? So it usually strength and throw kind of go hand in hand, although sometimes they do differ. But generally, range or throw means how far you can smell your candle. So if you light your candle and start taking steps back away from it, let's say once you take 10 feet back and you can't smell that candle anymore, that means the candle has a throw of 10 feet. Does that make sense? Yeah. So however far away you get from a candle that you can't smell it anymore, that's the throw. So one candle that I've recently burned that had amazing throw is Sugared Lemon and Spice. Something about that candle just traveled throughout my entire place. I had it going in my living room, and I could smell it in the bedroom, I could smell it in the bathroom. I couldn't burn anything else because the throw on that candle was so strong. I could smell it all over the place. Whereas if you get a candle with bad throw, you need to be really close to it to be able to smell it. And then strength, well, strength is how strong a candle is, how intense it is, right? So a really weak candle, what's a good example of a really, really weak one? Oh my gosh, that Daffodil Daydreams or Tropidelic from spring this year, those had really, really bad strength. Whereas all of the candles that I just listed off answering Joanne's question, all of those candles have really good strength. And you can often detect how the strength is gonna be when you're smelling a candle on cold. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes the amount of strength that you get on cold is gonna be the amount of strength that you get when it's burning. Scent descriptors like bassy, briny, zesty, and ozony. Okay, so bassy is when we're talking about the ranges of a candle and the ranges of like fragrance notes, all right? So fragrance usually have like, there's a top range, a mid range, and a lower range. The top range of a candle is like the first sort of sniff that you get. The first thing that hits your nostrils and registers, that's like that's the high part. The mid-range of a candle is usually what makes up most of the candle, and then the base is the base, or the low range of a candle is like the last sort of, almost like the aftertaste of a candle. Okay, so like the after smell of a candle. I tend to like candles that are really sort of in between, like a lower range to a mid-range. Oftentimes, so if you have something like really bright florals, really sharp bright florals, like a white gardenia, that's a very high range candle. It hits you really, really fast, right? Whereas one of my favorite candles, like pink lavender and espresso, it's much more like bassy. You know, you could kind of think of it in terms of like, I'm a big wine drinker, and you know, there's sort of a similar thing that happens with wine, where you get wine that is sort of very, very sweet, and you get wine that is not so sweet, and wine that is like very heavily bodied, and wine that is lesser bodied. It's basically just sort of the range of the range of scent triggers that a candle gives you. Right? Gosh, I really hope that helped. I don't feel like I'm doing the best job of explaining here, but think of something in terms of like sweet to sour, okay? So sweet would be like the top range, whereas like something more savory or something more savory would be at the bottom, all right? I hope that helps. I apologize. If someone can explain this better, let us know in the comments below. Briny. Okay, so briny is usually like a saltiness, all right? So brining is actually a technique that's often used in cooking. So if you want to cook yourself up a really nice, juicy chicken breast, you can brine that chicken breast in some water that has some salt and sometimes some sugar, and it helps that chicken stay nice and juicy when you're cooking it, almost like marinating it in a salt water solution. And so oftentimes when we say a candle is briny, it means it's very salt water-ish, okay? Very oceanic. All right, think salt water when you're thinking of briny. Zesty, so zesty would be like a lemon or a lime or a grapefruit, something citrusy, something tart, something sour. Ozony, so an ozony scent note is often given by something that has like an aldehyde in it. And an aldehyde is like an organic compound that is it's got a very like airy vibe to it. So an ozony candle would be something with a name like Seaside Breeze or Spring Breeze, Summer Breeze. It's usually like an accord. And it's a scent note that sort of it evokes like a fresh air situation. Or, you know that smell that kind of happens before and after the rain? Before and after it rains, there's a real sort of ozony smell in the air. All right? I was wondering if you would consider making a video or a series where you explain these descriptors and categories in detail. It would be great if you could maybe include examples of candles that fit each category. I think that would be super helpful for beginners like me, Michael. You know what? I am really only doing this channel because I am a thirsty hoe that wants people to watch me. So, Michael, I'm gonna take that into very serious consideration, and I will release a video. I can't promise you a timeline. I'll do a video or a series shortly where I really break down some scent descriptors and categories, all right? Okay, we also have a comment here from Sharon from Colorado. This was an email. And You people are all so lovely. I have redacted a lot of the compliments that y'all left me at the beginning of these emails because I would feel like an egomaniac reading these off on recording. So I redacted all these compliments, but thank you so much, Sharon, for your kind words. She asks, could you please show us what candle lamp you use and the features on it? Can you recommend one that's available to purchase online? Ooh, well, girl, I already answered your question, Sharon. If you are looking for a beginner's candle lamp, I would really suggest getting something like this. Just make sure that it has an adjustable height, all right? Make sure it has an adjustable height. And I really recommend getting one that has a timer so you can just leave it on in your kitchen like I do, and it will turn off at nighttime or when you're at work or what have you. Those are the two features that I think are really important. And I will link below. If you're just starting off with a candle lamp, I wouldn't recommend spending more than $30. So I will link below to some candle lamps that you can get off of Amazon for like $30 and under, okay? And I'll put up Canadian and American options. All right, we have another question here. This was an email. This is Mitchell from Arizona. How often do you trim your wicks? Hi, Greg, your channel's amazing, blah, blah, blah. How often do you trim your wicks? I'm specifically talking about BBW candles. Do you trim before every burn? Thanks. Well, Mitch, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would say that I do trim my wicks almost every time I light a candle. You said specifically BBW candles. So BBW candles can be tricky because we all know that they use different types of wicks. They've got sort of 4 main wicks going on right now in their rotation. There are thick, ropey wicks. There are thick, ropey, tree stubby wicks. There are thin core wicks. And then there are flat, curling wicks. And I wish that I could give you a really simple answer about wick trimming. But to be completely honest with you, trimming your wicks the best way possible is kind of just something that you have to learn from experience. Now, with BBW candles, I would recommend always trimming the wicks until you get to the halfway point, okay? The majority of the time with Bath & Body Works candles, they must be trimmed. I usually cut off about half of what is left of a wick for the first half of the candle. All right, and then the second half of the candle, you really got to play it by ear. I usually will, if the top of the wick has a little bit of like a nub or a little piece of carbon on it, on the last half of a BBW candle, I might just trim off that little bit right off the top of the wick. But you want to be careful trimming the wicks on the last half of a BBW candle because you might end up with the dreaded itty bitty wicks and teeny tiny flames, or puny wick syndrome. Puny wick syndrome, as somebody has named it in my comment section before. We call it PWS. Many candles suffer from it. When you're experiencing PWS with a candle, you might want to not be trimming the wicks. And it's complicated, you know. The thin core wicks from Bath & Body Works, like, they need to be trimmed very frequently because they mushroom top like crazy and then could get quite sooty. And then you have candles that are like from Village, like the Village candles that I burn that have 2 wicks in the big jars. They say that you shouldn't trim them at all. Homework says that their wicks don't need to be trimmed either, but I find that they do. All right, so I'd say that as a general rule of thumb for Bath & Body Works candles, always trim the wicks for the first half of the candle and then see how the last half of it is performing and trim accordingly. You will figure it out. You'll get better at it and you'll get a little bit more intuitive about how much you should be trimming your wicks, okay? Thank you so much, Mitch from Arizona. This was also an email from Sammy. Hiya, Greg. Can you show us your candle collection? Also, what is your favorite candle? Sammy. Sammy, believe it or not, I don't actually consider myself a candle collector. No, I don't. I don't consider myself a candle collector or even a candle expert. I consider myself a candle connoisseur. And so I actually think that you guys would find my candle collection quite boring, my collection. I have a rule, like I don't like keeping lots of things around for a long time. I don't like lots of things. I really do believe Marie Kondo. If you have stuff that doesn't spark joy, it's gotta go. And so my candle collection, the oldest candles that I have, maybe I have a couple really nice classic BBW ones that I'm holding on to, and it bothers me that I'm holding on to them. I generally have a rule that candles don't stay around here for longer than 3 years, all right? I sort of do 2 rotations a year with my candles. I get spring and summer candles out of deep storage and put them in my candle closet, and then all the fall and winter candles go into storage, okay? The ones that I didn't get through. And when I have candles hanging around that have been hanging around for more than 2 or 3 years, I say to myself, it's time to get through them. I personally believe that candles are meant to be burned and not collected. That being said, I love all the candle collectors out there, and I obsess over people that have huge candle collections and share them on their YouTube channel. You might want to check out Kent from the Candle Channel, Sammy. If you search his videos, you can go back and find that he has some massive candle collection videos. I would also recommend Bonnie from Queen of the Girl Geeks. She's done some videos in the past. I mean, this girl has some candles. She has done some videos in the past about her candle collections, which are pretty mind-blowing. And so honestly, I would do a video about my candle collection, but I think it would be quite disappointing for most people because you're not gonna find much back there that's been around for more than 2 or 3 years. What I might do is I do have maybe about a dozen candles that I've been holding on to for whatever reasons. Some of them are like sentimental. Some of them are just that they were sort of collector's things that I didn't want to burn. I really only have about a dozen of those. So what I will do in the future, Sammy, is I will do a video where I feature like those 11 or 12 candles that I do have that do date back to quite a while ago. I have some Yankees from like 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, I might do that. And she also asked, what is my favorite candle? Girl, I can't pick my favorite candle. That's like asking me what my favorite Madonna song is. You know, like I can tell you what my favorites are right now, but I reserve the right to change my mind. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I think my favorite Bath & Body Works candles are probably Pink Lavender and Espresso, Vanilla Birch, and You, Me, and the Sea, Dark Amber and Oud, and that Amber single wick candle. Okay, so those are like 4 Bath & Body Works candles that are fairly recent or on the floor right now that are some of my favorites right now. My favorite Village candle, I can tell you, is Fairy Dust. I freaking love Fairy Dust. My favorite Homeworks candle that I've burned so far is Harvest Leaves. I'm actually burning Harvest Leaves from Homeworks for the first time right now, and I'm obsessed. My favorite Goose Creek candle, probably either Vanilla Fluff or Sea Salt Neroli and Vanilla. Fabulous, fabulous. All right, we have one more question here. Okay, so this question comes from Jamie in Arkansas, and I did say that non-candle questions were allowed. And so, you know, if you want to send me a non-candle question, you can send me a non-candle question. I'll do my best to answer for you. I did get a couple. I'll probably just feature 1 or 2 non-candle questions in each video. But this one was from Jamie in Arkansas, and it says, "Hi Greg, I'm a gay and single candle lover. How did you meet your boyfriend? Dating is the worst. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Oh, Jamie. Oh, my dear, dear young Jamie. I'm assuming that you're probably quite young, Jamie from Arkansas. Dating is the worst. It really is, you know? And I can only imagine that dating in Arkansas is probably not, being gay and dating in Arkansas is probably even tougher than being gay and dating in a lot of other places. I get the vibe from you, Jamie, that you are quite young, and it sounds like you wish that you weren't single. You know, if you really, really want a boyfriend, Jamie, then you kind of want to approach it as if you are approaching any other type of a goal. You know, you need to take some steps in that direction. Generally, I find that people that say that they want to be in a relationship but never are, don't actually want to be in a relationship. Okay? Now, if you're under 30, my advice is to really not worry about it. Like, really not worry about it. In fact, one of the advantages of being gay is that we don't really feel the same pressure to like get married and have children as straight people do, and we don't have the same sort of time frames on these things. And so, you know, if you're under 30, I would really just not let this bother you. Now, if you really do want a boyfriend, then you need to approach it just like the way that you would approach any other goal you want to achieve, okay? So you might want to do a singles night if they have like an LGBTQ singles night where you are. You might want to do one of the dating apps. You might want to do, you know, just join like a course or a class where there might be some other gays there, you know, like a candle making class or something like that. Put yourself in situations where you're likely to be around other gay people. Now, if you are going to be using the dating apps, young Jamie, if you're looking for your boyfriend online, what I'm going to tell you about dating online is that you must be very clear on exactly what you are looking for, and be very clear with whoever you talk to on those apps of what it is that you are looking for, okay? So if you're looking for a steady, long-term boyfriend, you want that to be, you know, front and center, front page of your profile, all right? Or else you're gonna end up having a lot of one-night stands. Trust me. Oh, Jamie, I really, really feel for you. Being young and gay and single in Arkansas, my best advice is to just not worry about it. Really, just be yourself, you know, focus. If you're in school, focus on school. If you're starting out your career, focus on starting out your career. You will eventually meet someone, I promise you. And, you know, I met my boyfriend, not a very interesting story. I met my boyfriend at his workplace. Well, what his workplace was back then. I met him at his workplace, and I was kind of there on a sort of working business as well, but it wasn't like a scandal or anything like that. And the second time that I went back there, I just told him I thought he was really cute and that we should go for a drink. And it's been 3.5 or 4 years since then. And you know, relationships are tough, especially these days. And you know, just enjoy being single. Don't put any pressure on yourself to find a boyfriend, because it will happen when it's meant to happen. I can pretty much guarantee you that, Jamie. Thank you so much for writing in from Arkansas. I really appreciate your burning question, my friend. That's all I have for you folks today. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the first episode of Burning Questions. I've got lots of other great questions. So episode 2 of Burning Questions is going to be a lot about candle crocks. Okay, so this episode was a lot about candle lamps. Next episode, I'm going to get my crock out here, show you how I use that. And I'm probably going to be doing the burning questions maybe like once or twice a month. So stay tuned. Email me your burning questions at AllAbootCandles@gmail.com. Like my video, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, please. And until next time, my dear, beautiful, and gorgeous candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, folks. Bye now.